Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And take a look at this. Galaxy Capital's Mike Novogratz warns that finding crypto bottoms is dangerous and that altcoins could dump by another 70%. And I started the bat, had to laugh a little bit. Partially because Mike Novogratz is a complete joke after he tattooed a very big Luna thing over on his arm. So people don't really take him serious anymore. But also, this is like the most casual statement that any crypto guy or any person in finance really could make. Hey, be careful with buying the bottom because things might go even lower. The warning is not a bad thing, it's just in the way in which it found itself. I just find it kind of funny because, well, he was promoting Luna, he was really a big fan of Luna, and of course that one crashed so severely because then should you take his advice? He's not a financial, he's a financial advisor, but I guess not for us. One fun thing to kind of realize for yourself is that the majority of altcoins right now are already again about 80% down or so. He says that altcoins will likely drop another 70% from their current levels, and I'm definitely not the guy to state that that's impossible, but I am the guy to state that regardless of what happens, market crashes like Robert Kiyosaki are a great opportunity for smart investors or small investors to become very rich winners. One thing I gotta tell y'all is if you don't have a limited capital, you don't buy one bottom, you DCA, you layer your way down. I'm going to be making another video pretty shortly here in a couple of hours most likely, explaining a little bit more about my strategy and about my future outlook and price predictions and whatnot. But honestly, you don't really need that for buying. Buying in my own perspective is just, I have a goal of how many coins I want to get, or even if I don't have that goal, I know which cryptos I think are good to accumulate over longer periods of time, and I just buy them piece by piece by piece by piece over very long periods of time. So you, let's say, for example, buy $50 worth today, buy $30 worth in a week from now, buy $10 worth 3 weeks from now, buy $40 worth 5 weeks from now, and so forth and so on, whenever it suits you. You don't really have to focus too much on the price unless you're buying these really crazy speculative altcoins, because if you're buying XRP for 40 cents, for example, or 60 cents at $14 or so, it ain't gonna matter too much what your initial price was. And the same thing for Bitcoin. Buying at 2,700 or 3,200 in the past, it doesn't really matter too much now, does it? Then again, the warning is quite nice, purely to kind of get in your perspective that you never really know where the bottom is going to be, which is why you always prepare for any scenario coming up, and you never really know how much your cryptos are going to crash. Always be prepared to lose everything. As long as you are, you're good to go. Quick little note, I don't think I'm going to lose all my money in crypto. I believe in this technology, but you got to be prepared to lose everything. You got to be a little bit nutty to put all your money and faith into crypto. There's even CZ, for example, who actually put the majority of his money into crypto, and he recommends diversification in investments, even though he's actually all into crypto and Bitcoin. I guess I'm kind of the same way. The majority of my funds are definitely in crypto, and I like it that way, but I can't say that that's the best thing to go for. To continue on, there will also be a lot of bumps in the ride. One thing people very often underestimate is that regulation or so is bad, or that all these talks of G7 or so, or stable coins finding or doing something is a bad thing. Let me say it like this. Regulations are a natural part of whatever we are facing right here. And these little projects crashing like UST are also, I guess, the showcases or the actual, the moments at which you notice we're still at like an infancy stage of all this crypto stuff. It is very early. A lot of really ambitious projects will still falter even though we all thought they were good. There's a lot of people who think, oh, this USD thing was actually really Do Kwon inside scamming us and whatnot, was the bigger guys. And that's very much possible. I described to you guys two main scenarios. Again, I am purely a speculative, random ass guy here because we don't really know. We don't really have any insights. I don't speak to Do Kwon. I don't speak to Citadel. I don't speak to BlackRock. I don't speak to any of these bigger guys. So let me say it like this. I have come up with 2 to 3 potential main reasons as to why this all happened, but we can kind of branch that out to 4 or 5. 1 is Do Kwon was overambitious, really believing into something which got a lot of people excited, and it just did not work, and it was just over-enthusiasm, which is basically what the FTX CEO says as well, which made it crash eventually. And number 2 is this was an insider attack to either attack decentralization or to attack the guy who was running his mouth too much, or just plain old and very simple, destroy the competition, Not the decentralization part necessarily, but just the competition. USDC, for example, did not want UST around. They tried to fund USDT before with all the China papers, so the Evergrande, but it didn't work, and now this one did work. Then again, you guys probably feel by now, it's hard to say which one is the truth. I can think of a lot of reasons as to all of these and why they make sense, but we can't really say. But that, again, is another reminder. A lot of things can happen to the cryptos which you know and love. Even though you think they're solid, even though you believe in the ideas, something can always happen. And by the way, I'm not sure if I read it already. Norwegian Parliament votes down proposal to ban Bitcoin mining. This is all the infancy stages, All these decisions have to be made. I can't, actually kind of keep moving this perfectly into frame right here because I'm trying the little side camera. It's like night, so you can't really, the quality of my video is not perfect. But here's, for example, that little article about the FTX CEO. Terra USD collapse is a case of mass enthusiasm rather than deceit. Some people will say, yeah, of course he's going to say that. He doesn't want to be uncovered. Well, I guess one thing that came out of this is some heavier crypto regulations, which again is good because we're still at the infancy stage and we need all this stuff to kind of grow as an industry. If you guys remember, G7 had a meeting from 18th to 20th, very in big parts due to the whole UST Luna debacle. We've seen before in the US that they had a discussion on the 10th and 12th of May regarding all of this. I believe 10th and 12th of May, right? And it was also mostly due to what was, I guess let me say it differently. It was regarding just a lot of policy, but because the whole UST debacle, they most likely focused a lot more on that and the stablecoin department rather than just talk about CBDC. They didn't say that it was a really big threat and they said they can coexist, but even here in South Korea, for example, they're going really on top of Do Kwon's ass, but apparently South Korean regulators are introducing a new framework to protect crypto investors. This needs to come in place though, guys. You gotta understand. There need to be so many new insurances and so they're coming. And so many new laws that will sort of catch the person who makes so many people lose this amounts of money. Because right now, who's really accountable for the losses? Nobody, right? It's just like a company failing or so. Then again, in traditional companies, it's like, well, since you made so many people lose their money through these very strange means, we're going to basically come at your ass and you're going to have to pay up people. In crypto, though, it works very much differently. And I think that will change in due time in a lot of countries, not every country, though. You gotta also remember, what happened right now is some massive fear campaign, which is again why it becomes more difficult to track out exactly who caused this or what the reasoning was. Crypto blockback impact, DeFi TVL sinks to lowest level since June of 2021. If you guys don't remember exactly what we talked about before, the reason I kept saying attack was because we got some massive crypto fear, which got everything down. Even DeFi right now is like the lowest pit of fire. If you have like 4 or 5 pits, this is like the lowest of the lowest one, like a really big. You cannot even fry a freaking egg on this one, because people are really fearful. And even I understand it. I'm a crypto enthusiast to the fullest, but I even understand. I am right now more hesitant to lock up, let's say, $1 million or so in any one protocol, purely because I'm thinking, well, but what if it actually does the same thing as Anchor did? What if it actually? In reality, it's a really strange idea because in a month or so, I'll forget about all of this because I'm getting excited. But it's the sentiment, Regarding the whole UST tobacco, there's some good stuff. Brazilian crypto exchange of Nox is actually Nox Bitcoin officially. It's set to refund all UST holders with USDT. A little bit unfortunate that it was not on there. Then again, they've only set aside about $127,000. So yeah, that's definitely not going to change too much. OKX risk protection system kicked in on May 8th, releasing USD from staking so that it could be traded or sold as well. Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough, guys. I wasn't smart enough to go and get rid of all my UST. I really thought it would bounce back, but again, that is my current wishful thinking. I still think maybe I should just sell everything right now at about 8 cents or so, because it will still go lower most likely. But I'm still in some way, shape, or form hoping that eventually something good will come out of this, right? But I know it's wishful thinking. If you're really worried about all this corruption and whatnot, there's actually a really interesting article that Fat Man basically replied with, or I guess a little story. So there was a little allegation that VCs were allowed to cash out. So Do Kwon replied and said, no VCs were allowed to cash out or anything. No backroom deals of any kind exist. We are trying to see what we can, or if we can name counterparties in the trades, but confidentially will need to be waived for us to be able to do this. And Fat Man said, Do Kwon states that no VCs were allowed to cash out anything during the Luna Foundation Guard repaying attempt, and that there were no backroom deals. He will try to prove this. Well, we need LFG meeting minutes. I think it's going to be interesting to see some more information about this coming around. There's a lot of questions being asked, and funny enough, Do Kwon has actually answered a lot of them. Like, for example, Ronson said, can you give us the burn address of Luna so that the community can start burn Luna ourselves to reduce the supply? Do Kwon said, why would you do this? Literally burning money. This is a little bit of a red flag, to be honest with you. Not exactly sure why he... Oh, sorry, guys, you can't see perfectly. Not sure exactly why he would say this or why he would do this. Again, can you give us the burn address of Luna so the community can Luna or whatever we just read? You guys understood what it was. Why would you do this? Literally burning money? Yeah, people did not take that so lightly, I guess. There was also another piece, by the way. Terra network dropped by Coinbase cloud servers, I read. And this I read as well. Do Kwon clears the air over Terra's Singapore move. Apparently, he moved to Singapore. It was just coincidence. You know, he quit the company 4 days before it happened. It's just a coincidence. And this one was the network dropped by Coinbase Cloud Service. Again, it's just logical that all these infrastructure players are not going to be supporting the Luna Terra stuff anymore because, well, it's going to be kind of useless, so to speak, right? Coinbase Cloud said, through speaking with customers and ecosystem participants, we are making a tough decision to wind down support for the Terra ecosystem. We're discontinuing support for the existing Terra chain and are not planning to support the potential new chain at this time. But that will change as well if Terra 2.0 actually pops off. But we shall see for it. It's just a little measure for themselves to kind of keep themselves in. I'm not sure exactly the best way to phrase it. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. I've covered everything I wanted to cover for right now. All right. So I think if you guys enjoyed the video, hopefully you press that like button. One thing actually, Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and others to be accepted as payment at thousands of restaurants. It doesn't really tie into the story too well, but I had this laying around. It was like, hey, let me quickly share that for all the Shiba Inu holders out there. And a little fun fact below here was like, XP is true utility. Why talk about these stupid ass coins? At the end of the day, guys, you know, I like my juicy freaking coins. Again, guys, for all of you that do not know, one of the coins which I'm going to try buy if I still have the opportunity, I'm a little bit late with checking everything out, is Metarix. So hopefully you guys will remember from the stream and remember from watching my channel for a little longer while. But they're basically one of the Tencent sponsors. I believe they're a diamond sponsor. Not exactly sure how all those parts work, to be honest. But yeah, they're promoting that a lot over on their Twitter. And if you guys don't remember, there was the last one that they launched was a Tencent Gem. I believe that's a little bit of a higher tier than a diamond sponsor, but Fame MMA did like a crazy 200 or so X, and honestly, in the way in which they've built things, in the way in which they're marketing things are looking good. It's a metaverse, and it's really hard to predict the actual value of such things. I described to you guys before, I've invested in so ridiculously many metaverses and ridiculously many crypto projects, it's very hard to say which ones will hold up, and so I'm not going to be the guy to tell you this one metaverse is way better than the others for this or that reason. It's just hard. It's all about use. It's all about how many people hop on in. It's not really too much about the graphics. It's all about the marketing and things around that nature. How can you make it really unique, or why would people really hop on in? Those things are really cool in essence to speak of and stuff, but usually they're so far away that this is just a marketing ploy, right? All that matters to me is how is the team looking like? Have they proven themselves before to be able to market things properly, and where are they launching on? And again, guys, the partner they have with Tencent, usually those guys do really freaking well. So all I'm saying is, check it out for yourself, all right? Don't trust me with this stuff, but check it out for yourself. It might be a good opportunity. Don't hold me accountable if it goes wrong, because your boy right here is going to be buying. If it goes wrong, I'll take full blame and say I was stupid, all right? I was stupid for buying that one. I made a mistake. Never put in more money into one of these freaking degenerate picks than you are, like, than is smart to do, let me say it like that. But I honestly believe that these guys will once more pop off. I'm not expecting like a 200x or so, and I can't say the exact number that I'm thinking of. But let me just say it like this. I do think this will have some crazy price action, and I do think it'll be a net positive trade for me to make. So once more, if you are thinking about it in the same way that I am, and you like taking risks sometimes, check it out for yourself. And once more, it's not financial advice, but I am saying I'm going to be checking it out, and sometimes I think it's worth taking a little bit of a risk. But again, just look it up for yourself and see whatever you like. Once more, you don't have to do anything for me. I'm just letting you guys know whenever I'm buying these crazier coins, right? So that's what I'm also sharing with you guys here. Once more, there's no referral link, no incentive. You do it what the frick you please. But I'm definitely going to be trying to buy. I'm not even sure how yet. I didn't actually check it out. I've just been hearing about it left, right. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty lazy of a guy when it comes to my newer investments sometimes, where I'm like really hyped up to do many investments and I forget about some. But that's also because let's say for example, in a week, I line up to buy 4, for example. I'll get 2 done, and then the other 2 I'm like, but they're medium. long story. Let's just say it like this. I will try to buy in if I do manage to sit down enough and go through, as I do believe it's going to be a gem. If I forget, I'm stupid, because I do think it will pop off, and I'll share the news. I'll share whatever result comes out. If it does bad, I'll share. If it does good, I'll share as well. So stick around if you do not want to buy this type of stuff, and just enjoy the show, all right? Because, again, no pressure.